Do you all remember a time all of 2 seasons ago when the SMU Mustangs were one miraculous field goal from winning the ACC? They made the college football playoff anyway. Yeah, that might be something that comes back into play this year. Grayson Singleton of Locked On SMU is here to discuss the Mustangs. And Grayson, one of the most experienced quarterbacks in all of college football, will be behind center for Rhett Lashlee and SMU this year in Kevin Jennings. And there are just not that many guys that are going into a third season as a starting quarterback. Noah Fafita at Arizona being one of the other ones. But what I like most about this SMU team for this upcoming season doesn't have so much to do with the team. Boy, their schedule looks really, really nice.
I mean, dude, isn't that what projecting into the season during the preseason is all about? It's all about contextualizing everything, right? I mean, you look at that schedule, you got it on the screen right now. There's not a team on that schedule other than Notre Dame that SMU has less talent than. They out-talent everybody. Now, whether they go out and execute, whether they go out and, play their A game every single week, whether they go out and have that A-plus focus and whatnot, that's a different thing. But when you just look at it contextually about, Florida State, Louisville, that entire October slate, and then the 3 games leading up to Notre Dame, there's not a team on that schedule that has more talent than SMU. You look at the 30-year starting quarterback. You look at continuity with head coach. You look at the playmakers that they've got around him, a lot of which they assembled out of the transfer portal. There's not a team on this schedule, save for Notre Dame, that SMU is less talented than. That's why you, at least for number one, that's why you should be bullish on the Mustangs.
You know what stood out when I got that graphic put together? They have a 5-week span in which they will play 0 road games. And it is right smack dab in the middle. And they have 2 of their toughest games, I believe, in ACC play at home in back-to-back weeks, October 17th and 24th. Coming out of the bye, they host Virginia, the reigning ACC runner-up, and then they host Cal, and those are my California Golden Bears, as my everydayers out there know. But that September 19th game at Louisville is the last road game they will play until October 31st when they go to Syracuse. And look, I looked through the schedule and went game by game in my head, Grayson. Our friends at FanDuel have this win total at 8.5. I'm going over here with SMU. I have them at 10-2. And I think that tiebreakers notwithstanding, that should get them into the ACC championship game, and they will have a very real chance, therefore, to go to the college football playoff, because all the Power 4 conference champions are automatically in, plus the highest-ranked group of 6 team, who does not have to be a conference champion. Don't forget that out there, everybody. But I don't think SMU is getting in to this college football playoff field, which is still at 12 teams, and I hope it never expands again. They're not getting in there without an ACC championship or a win over Notre Dame. One of those things has to happen, or else they're a 10-win team that won't be in the playoff.
Who do you think's the second loss?
Louisville.
Okay.
I love Louisville this year. Love Louisville.
And I don't mind that either, Spencer, because, especially you look at the 2 other defenders that are 5th years that they just got back a couple of days ago. That's a very veteran team around a first-year starting quarterback and with a very good coaching staff. So I don't mind that one bit. I do think that if I have them at 11-1. I just think they out-talent everybody. And look at their history with Louisville. I know Louisville was very banged up and kind of quit on the season by the end of last year. But in the 2 years that SMU has been in the ACC, the Mustangs have played Louisville very well and are 2-0 against the Cardinals. So I'll give SMU the benefit of the doubt until I'm proven wrong with that. But I think if they go 11-1, that would obviously get you to the ACC championship game because you would have run the table in the ACC. I think whether win or lose that championship game, they're in at that point. I don't think you can keep an 11-2 team from the Power 4 out of the college football playoff. So it's a very slim path to getting to the playoff without winning the conference championship game, but I do think that it's there. But I'm glad you mentioned that October part of the schedule, because when the schedule first came out, that was the part that I honed in on, was that from September 26th all the way to October 30th or whenever they leave to go to Syracuse, New York, they don't leave Dallas. That's a month. Like, I don't know how many other schedules there are out there in the country, Spencer, where a team doesn't leave their hometown for a month. And my whole feeling on this season has rested on this. If they get through the first 3 games where they will play Florida State, UC Davis, and Louisville, all within the span of 12 days, which is an arduous task to do, especially with the toughest of those opponents coming at the back end of that. If they get through that 3-0, man, I think they're smooth sailing to Notre Dame, because that's just not a lot of good teams on that schedule after that.
I think there are a couple solid ones in there. Like I mentioned, Virginia and Cal are not ones that I would overlook at all. Wake Forest had a good season last year. I wasn't enamored with their offseason choice of quarterback with Gio Lopez, but he's got some gamer mentality to him that I can respect. So I wouldn't overlook those games, but I definitely think SMU should be favored to win them all. Speaking of SMU and being favored, Grayson, I have seen something that I would like for you to please explain to me, and it must be the fact that it's a true road game in week 1, but why is SMU a sub 4-point favorite at Florida State? What am I missing?
Well, first of all, before I get to that, my everydayers will know that the Cal game scares the living hell out of me. Number one.
It should. That's a good roster.
No, I'm a big JKS dude. Now, Virginia doesn't scare me all that much. I think they're due for a step back. But Cal, that game scares the hell out of me. I think I did a show on that last week for my everydayers will remember that. But why are they a sub 4-point favorite at Florida State? There's 3 reasons I think why, but I agree with you that line is way too narrow. Number 1, the game's on the road. I think that has a lot to do with it. Number 2, Rhett Lashlee's teams start pretty slow. Like, Rhett Lashlee's teams do not really start to hit their stride and look their best until late September. So, not to mention that they also are a notorious slow-starting team in terms of individual games as well. So, I think that factors into it a little bit, that if SMU does pull away, it would be much, much later, and the game and the score may not reflect how decisively SMU won it, if that is to be the case. Number 3 reason I think that is because Florida State just seems to upset people in week 1, regardless of how bad they are. I mean, just ask Alabama the last couple of years. Regardless of how bad you think Florida State is, they always get up for week 1, especially if it's against a Power 4 opponent, and this one obviously is an ACC opponent too. So I think those would be the 3 reasons that I look at, but I'm with you, man. That line seems really, really slim, but you're going on the road. You're going to Tallahassee, which is a historically pretty tough place to play as a road team, so I'll give them the benefit of the doubt there, but for me, this is pretty narrow.
Yeah, we mentioned the long stretch of SMU not having to leave home. The only other one that popped into my head is a team in the same state. That's the Texas Longhorns. And, they have that one road game at Tennessee, but then you look at their first, 8 games, and they have one true road game, and then they go 3 of their last 4 on the road. And obviously you have the neutral site against Oklahoma in Red River. So that's the only one. I don't know. It's something about the Texas schools, I guess, that they don't really go places. Texas obviously went to Ohio State last year, I know, but yeah, if you're there it goes. There's a pretty solid chance that you're just not going to have to travel a whole heck of a lot. So I'm at 10-2. You're at 11-1. I will say, going back to your playoff point for a moment, I do agree, and I have always had this position, any 11-win Power 4 team should be in the college football playoff. If they go 11-1, and I felt that way about BYU last year, if they go 11-1, their only losses to Notre Dame, especially if it's tight against the Irish. Now, if they get blown out, then there might be a discussion had, because then you're looking at, well, is Cal ranked? Is Virginia ranked? Is Louisville ranked? Or is it a bunch of, mid to below average ACC teams? Is Wake Forest sneaking into the top 25? Then I think you get into that resume discussion. I would think 11 wins keeps SMU in the playoff field, whether they win the ACC championship game or not, as it was for them 2 years ago, where their schedule wasn't all that strong. but because they won 11 games, it was seen as, that's enough to get them in. But I don't think at 10-2, if that loss is to Louisville, I think Louisville's going to be a really good team this year. If you're 10-2 and a loss to Louisville, you will have to win the ACC championship game to make the playoff.
You and I agree 100%. If they lose 2 games in the regular season, especially because this is not a resume that 10-2 would really look very good with. So if they go 10-2 in the regular season, they absolutely have to they have to win the conference championship to get to the playoff. I'm with you. 11 wins. I think I put it this way on my show, Spence, is that 11 wins is kind of like 23 wins in college basketball. It's like when you get to that 23 win mark, that seemingly is like the magic number for getting in the NCAA tournament. That's how I'm kind of viewing 11 wins as a Power 4 team to get into the college football playoff. So I do think you're right that 11 wins certainly gives you the ability to lose the ACC championship game and still make the college football playoff. 10 wins does not afford you that luxury, especially coming out of the ACC. But I agree. I think 11 wins should get you in. Now, don't tell that to the SEC because then you might end up kicking out.
Yes, resume discussions. Those are always fun. I will close this segment with this thought. If ever there were a year where 9-3 could make the 12-team playoff, I think there are a couple of teams this year that I would even advocate for that happening. But the season's right around the corner, so why don't we just let things play out for now? Grayson Singleton, Locked on SMU, great. As always, my man, appreciate everyone listening. I'll see you next time, and until then, hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day.